A longtime friend of mine, let's call her Betty, started talking to a man online despite being married.
All right.
Betty.
All right.
At that time, Betty's 2 children were still young children, not yet teenagers. Betty had cheated on several boyfriends in the past, but she had promised herself to never cheat once she got married. I advised her to stop talking to the guy because it could lead to something serious. That's good advice. She insisted that they were only friends and would stay that way. However, one day she announced that they were going to meet in person. I warned her that that was a sure sign of an affair in the making.
Okay.
Well, you can imagine what transpired next. They embarked on an affair.
Okay.
Betty would inform her husband that she was visiting me. Coincidentally, he worked at the same high-tech company I did in Silicon Valley. I was furious. Occasionally, she would even plead with me to tell her husband that she was with me if he happened to inquire. Despite the fact that we didn't have a genuine friendship with her husband at the time, I firmly refused to lie or do so. Eventually, her husband discovered the truth. She claimed that she had ended the relationship, but when he found a used condom in the minivan, she fabricated a whole story about a long ago affair, a different guy than the high-tech guy, though it was another high-tech guy. Oh, so she lied and said like that was the old one that I told you about. That's crazy.
Yeah, can you open your car?
More than her infidelity, her husband couldn't bear the fact that everyone around them, including their husbands, knew about it. He felt embarrassed. He felt like a fool. So she told him that I was the only one who knew, throwing me under the bus. But she claimed I told him you were mad at me for having that affair and totally against it. All her friends and their husbands knew about the affair. Her husband was furious with me. And when I spoke with him, I didn't reveal that everyone else knew too. I didn't want to betray my friend or make him feel more embarrassed than he already did. A year or two later, an old friend of mine named Mel, who knows Betty but is not friends with her, found himself in a small town working on a business trip. After lunch, he called me and mentioned seeing Betty at a restaurant with a dark-haired man who wasn't her husband, and they weren't acting like a couple of buddies. This incident triggered an evil thought in my mind, and I decided to send Betty a text message. I asked her something like, "Enjoy your burger?" I knew this would completely freak her out because she had convinced her husband that the affair was over. She had also stopped talking to me about it because I had been so angry with her and told her to stop having the affair. So she couldn't figure out how on earth I knew about their lunch in that obscure place. She proceeded to text message me every few minutes, perhaps 50 or 60 in total, urgently asking me what I knew and how I knew it. I never responded to any of her text messages, choosing instead to let her stew in her panic. When I eventually spoke to her and revealed how I knew, I couldn't help but find it amusing. She didn't think it was amusing, and to this day, despite the affair being over after them having an affair for over a decade, she freaks out if I ever bring that incident up or if I tell her that Mel asked me. Remember that time I saw Betty in that burger joint? And makes me promise to never bring it up or tell Mel to never bring it up, despite him not having any contact with her or her. Yes, they are still married, a sexless marriage of convenience and affordability. Her husband, but I like to dangle it out there every once in a while. Am I an asshole for getting such amusement and satisfaction by causing her such distress and panic over the situation?